And the underlying causes of obesity are pretty poorly understood. So, I mean, at the basic micro level, we know that obesity is a function of essentially eating too much and exercising too little. So your net caloric intake, basically the amount that you eat after your expenditures in terms of just the maintenance of daily functions for your body plus whatever exercise you're doing. If that net difference between those two things is positive, then you're going to gain weight, and if it's negative, then you're going to lose weight. So although we sort of know the basic physiology of how obesity occurs, we don't really have a good handle of what the sort of driving forces at like a higher sort of society level or economic level are that are causing us to see this or they're generating this large increase in obesity rates. So obesity rates have roughly doubled since 1980. And is currently classified as the second leading cause of preventable death. But despite all this sort of attention, it's not clear what the actual origins of the obesity epidemic are. And so in particular, what I think sort of people both in health and in economics and other fields are interested in are what the inputs are that determine the prevalence of obesity. So obesity is caused by some group of factors, and we really like to know what those factors are so we can target them and potentially lower obesity rates. So one frequently cited determinant is basically the increased consumption of restaurant food. And I think, there must be like a dozen or dozens of potential explanations for why people are becoming obese out there. And we're not going to, so in the class, we're not going to discuss what all of these potential explanations are, nor are we going to discuss whether or not they've all been tested, because in many cases they haven't really. But that would, you could sort of fill an entire class just with that. And so some of the things that I think you sort of hear pretty frequently are the one thing is that jobs have become much more sedentary than they used to be in the past, so people are basically burning less calories at work than they used to. Another is that just sort of general activity has been reduced, and since now we tend to drive everywhere, there's not so much like walking and so forth, so that again lowers caloric expenditures, or basically how many calories you're burning. On the intake side, so those are things sort of on the calorie usage side. On the intake side, I think sort of the main things that you hear are, so first of all, sort of consumption of restaurant foods, consumption of fast foods. It's been shown that both the sort of portions that you see in restaurants have both grown over time and are larger than the portions that would be recommended to eat at home. So you can certainly imagine that eating out might tend to make people fatter. And so it's like over time, both the amount so for a given amount of eating out, the amount of obesity that might be generated has increased because portion sizes are increasing. And then furthermore, people are eating out more often than they used to. So again, that would tend to potentially increase obesity. So that's one thing you hear. Another thing is sort of like an increased prevalence of like snack foods and junk foods relative to 40 or 50 years ago. Sort of like the technologies that exist today allow us to package these unhealthy foods and eat them like at any point during the day. Whereas 50 years ago or something, you might actually like go and cut up a piece of fruit or like make yourself a sandwich from the refrigerator or something. You couldn't just have like a bag of potato chips that was readily available to snack on. And then you hear some sort of more, I'll say, exotic explanations about like the exact composition of the nutrients. So, I think like some people believe that high fructose corn syrup is sort of metabolized in a different way than sugar is, and maybe that's causing obesity. Those types of explanations, I don't know, you can never sort of reject something like that unless you actually did a huge clinical trial where you force some people to eat refined or cane sugar and you force other people to eat high fructose corn syrup. But at the same time, I would say that the evidence for those types of theories is basically non-existent. So maybe it's true, but it would be hard to ever prove one way or the other. So what we'll focus on here, though, for the moment, is this idea that increased consumption of restaurant food or fast food could be a major causal factor. And there's actually a bunch of findings in the literature that suggest that it would be an important determinant. So if you just look sort of across individuals, you like do surveys of what people are eating when they go into restaurants, and then you look at what their caloric intake is and what their BMI is, you do see that people seem to eat more if they're eating in a restaurant. And it's also been well documented that portion sizes have increased. So like there's this famous paper by these authors, Young and Nessel, and what they did is kind of like went back and looked at what McDonald's served in like the 1950s and compared it to what they serve today, and they found that like the size of like a regular French fries is like doubled or tripled, and hamburgers are now like 2 or 3 times larger. So that sort of seems like it would be sort of a major factor in determining obesity rates. But the problem with that type of evidence is that in some sense you don't know like what's supply and what's demand, right? So their story is basically a supply side story, that what's happened is that the price of like food per calorie, so the price per calorie of food has essentially decreased. So now for like the same amount of money or maybe even less money, you're getting like a much larger hamburger, and then you eat that whole hamburger, and that makes you fat. And there may well be some truth to that, but you also don't know sort of what's happening on the demand side, right? So if people are just becoming more unhealthy in their eating habits, particularly relative to the amount of calories they're burning, then McDonald's will want to cater to that. And so if McDonald's is basically sort of reacting to market forces that are encouraging larger portions, then it's not so clear that the growth in portion sizes is so much a cause of obesity as it is kind of like a side effect of obesity. And it also turns out that BMI, so body mass index, which is basically your weight divided by your height squared, so it's a measure of how overweight you are. So BMI and restaurants per capita seem to be strongly correlated at the state level. Basically, both of them are like trending upwards over time. If you plot the 2 time series against each other, it looks like there's a pretty strong correlation there. So that suggests that maybe there's something going on there. On the other hand, there's lots of things that are trending upwards over time, and most of them are clearly not causing BMI. So none of this evidence, all this is kind of like suggestive that maybe there's a relationship there, but none of this evidence is really all that convincing, I think, at least in isolation. So in response, there's a lot of policies that are essentially trying to target restaurants in the fight against obesity, and they sort of range from, I would say, helpful to innocuous to sort of maybe harmful to rather amusing, or we'll get there. I think one of the things that has definitely taken off, you can see, are these nutritional information requirements. So like in New York now, there's calorie posting laws. I think in California we have some form of it. I don't know. So some of it's by basically the city and county level, and some of it's the state level, and I forget which ones survived legal challenges and which ones didn't. But in a lot of restaurants now, essentially you go in and they'll have like the number of calories posted for each food item on the menu. And so the idea here is that people didn't really realize how many calories they're eating when they ordered the Big Mac or whatever, and now that they do, they're going to cut back or eat in a more healthy way. And so those I think are pretty, I would say, like you're basically providing additional information there, and so economic theory suggests that providing information can never make the consumer worse off. It can only either sort of leave them the same as they were before, or potentially make them better off. There is a small cost to doing so because the firm has to like figure out how many calories are in the items, but certainly like the fast food restaurants like McDonald's and so forth, I think there's basically no cost because they already had that information anyway. They just weren't really publicizing it, but they always had like these little brochures if you went in and so forth. There's also advertising bans. So that's not so common in the US. It's actually becoming like more common in Europe. That you can't advertise fast foods, particularly to like certain age groups. There are actually zoning regulations. So there's a place in Los Angeles or a large swath of Los Angeles where they actually have prohibited the opening of new fast food restaurants in theory to try to sort of target obesity. Although I think there's also kind of they also like kind of want to preserve property values, and like having McDonald's right next to your house or something is not generally going to be conducive to having increased property values. There have been fast food taxes that have been proposed. I don't think any of them passed, although there are soda taxes that some of which have passed now, and there's others proposed, like there's one in Richmond that is coming up for vote this November. And then my favorite was in I think Arkansas or something. They suggested a ban on restaurants serving obese people. So as you might imagine, that didn't actually make it out of the assembly, and it's not clear how it would have been enforced. But basically the lawmakers who proposed this said, look, we understand that this isn't going to pass, but we just think it's like a severe problem, and we want to really highlight, what it, like draw attention to it by proposing this law. Okay, so I think there's sort of a lot of policy interest here, but whether or not you can actually expect any of these policies to be effective is a different question. So we'll talk about that on Friday.